Hello everyone. In this video I'll be talking about unattended applications and how to call Microsoft Graph API to search data within SharePoint Online and OneDrive content. But before that, let me do a quick follow-up on use case scenarios to the previous video. In the previous video, we discussed searching in the context of current user. So along with the usual ones, where you just need your application to search for some data your user needs, there is one different scenario I'd like to highlight. So here is the case. You need to quickly detect content in SharePoint that is open for everyone. Getting detailed permissions report for all SharePoint sites might not be a feasible option, especially in large environments. It's a very resource-consuming job and might take days and even weeks. So consider the following. Since search is security trimmed, a user can get only search results he or she already has access to, right? So, but what if we create an account and do not grant any SharePoint permissions or group membership to this account? And then we would search for everything on behalf of this account. What would that mean? That would mean that everything that appears at search actually content shared with everyone, right? Yeah, so that's the scenario. There are surely some tricks and gotchas, so I'll probably should make a separate video on this, but yeah, that's the scenario. And now let us jump to unattended search technique. And again, let's start from scenarios. What are the use cases when we need to search in Daemon application or background job? Because when you search on behalf of application with application credentials, search is not security trimmed, right? And your query would run against all SharePoint and OneDrive content. So here are some possible scenarios. Yeah, so content detection is, let's say you want some data never shared with anyone and never appeared in search for anyone. So you would probably go with application credential search, and if the content is found, that means it is actually shared, so it's time for action. Or other case scenario is you might want to investigate what is the location of some data, some specific data, if it's available in search. Another use case probably might be, well, imagine you are building some kind of sites classification system and you use indexed custom site properties for sites classification. So you would be able to refine your search results based on site metadata to get list of specific sites, right? Actually, when we configure retention policies, adaptive scopes, well, it's basically the same technique used in adaptive scopes for retention policies. And one more scenario, and this scenario is common actually in many environments. Let's say you have a requirement to configure every tenant site in some ways. For instance, add some hosts to allow domains to embed video, what's called safe host or something like that. Or maybe set some site properties based on who created the site, or maybe activate or deactivate some site features according to your company governance policy. Well, how would you do that? You would probably have a scheduled job that runs, let's say, every hour or like every 30 minutes against. But you would like to run this job not against all tenant sites, right? Because it might be, again, not feasible. You want to run this job against sites that were created just during the last 30 minutes or last hour, right? So how would you get these recently created sites? Yeah, so search with Graph API is actually, for today, is the only feasible way and the only solution to get like recently created sites. Again, probably I'll do a separate video on this. But okay, that's it for possible scenarios. Let's jump to demo. And for demo, what I prepared for you is, let me actually start from application. Yeah, again, we'll go to application registrations, and in the previous video we discussed delegated search application. Today we'll have a look at application that allows us to search with application credentials, unattended. Let's dive in this application. Authentication blade is not required here, so nothing in there configured, it's out of the box. But what's needed is certificates and secrets. So I generated one secret here, and I uploaded one self-signed certificate here. And for the application API permissions, what we would need is sites read all for Graph API and sites read all for SharePoint API. The last one is not required. It's just like good best practice to have both APIs. Here is well, you don't know what are you gonna use actually with this application. Maybe you'll use some libraries, and that library might use both APIs under the hood. So there is no harm to get two APIs here. It just benefits you. And those APIs should be application type, and of course they should be consented by tenant admin. That's it for app registrations. You would need app ID, tenant ID, and certificate or secret. So I hard-coded secret here. That's not the best practice. It would be a good idea to keep secret in Key Vault or any kind any kind of solution that keeps secret actually safe. But yeah, for the demo purposes, I hard-coded secret. But don't worry, before I upload video, I will remove this secret. Yeah, so you can see tenant ID, client secret, and I'm getting token, calling Microsoft Identity Platform here. So you can see in the request body, I use client ID, client secret, scope, and grant time would be client credentials. And let me run this part to get token. And okay, I got token with no user interactions. let me unpack this token to build a header for further requests, and I got headers. Now let's do the search, actual search. Again, I'm calling beta, but just for the demo purposes in production, you should prefer production version here. And let me search for something like test, and I'll be searching only inside list items for now. So again, the same way I'm building body. You can see I use entity types, query types, and let me run this. Yes, and that's expected behavior, because let me show the error message. It says region is required when request with application permissions. So let me bring region here. And after query, I'll add region. In this case, it's North America. And let me run body again. And let me call Graph API again. Okay, now it went well. Yeah, so basically request is the same. I use headers for authentication, API URL, body just format, method post, and like, yeah, so actually this part is the same. Now let me see how many results I got. I got 25 results, and that's default limit. Actually, there are more results. We can explore this variable more, but it says somewhere that I got more results. And let me see what are the results. And I can see results web URLs, and I can see details of the first result. But yeah, so let us continue. And yeah, so you can use as query, which basically is the same as you can do in GUI. So you can use query language here. For example, in this specific query, I'm looking for something that starts with lorem, and at the same time, it should be document, and at the same time, document should be on the specific site. And as entity type, this time I'll use drive item, so it should be library content. And let me run this query. I got 2 results, and those results are just 2 documents. And so first document would be this one, and second document would be this one. What else? Yeah, we can use something like that to filter result based on last modified date or creation date or whatever property is possible to use here. Let's say I run the query and I got 6 results, and I wanted to get content from my site that created last modified earlier than July 7, 2023. Right, so let me see what is the content. And let me see it this way. No, let me see it this way. Yeah, so that's the content, and let us double check. Yeah, so all the content was created in June, so before July. Let me do another query and run. Yeah, so I got content including July. So yeah, well, so we need to use region. We got only 25 results each time. So let me try to use from and size fields here. We are dealing with cloud calls, right? So Microsoft 365, especially when it comes to application credentials, don't want to be overloaded and don't want to return to us like millions of records upon one request. Right? So by default, they limited number of returned results to 25, but we can use like different numbers here. And for this, let me change query again. Let me maybe search for lorem everywhere, and let us see how many results will be returned. Let us see, it's 10. Let me make it like this. Yeah, so I got more results than 50, but my results variable is limited to just 50. So yeah, you can manipulate your body this way. You can actually organize paging. So you should, if you want to get really thousands and tens of thousands results, so if you want to iterate through like almost everything in SharePoint returned by search, you should organize some kind of looping, and you would like first request would be like this from 0 size 50, but second request would be from 50, and the third request would be starting to 100. And let me try to run this actually. Yeah, so we can see this time I got 50 results, but that's not the first 50, that's third 50. Well, what else is another option you can use in body? Let's say you don't need full object to be returned, right? Let's say you want just a few fields from this returned object. And let me prove it. So for example, right now, that's what returned by query, right? You can see object returned, but if I run the same query, but I will be asking just 3 fields, I should get different result. Again, this is just to improve your query performance in case you are getting, yeah, you can see that I just turned it exactly what I requested. And that's probably it for this video. Yep, so code is uploaded to GitHub. You can get link from description. And if any questions, please comment the video. That's it for today. See you later.